Welcome to Crossbody of Work. My name is Evan.
I am Javier.
It is Haas month, baby. Everyone has the Haas month tree up. We have the Haas month giant socks hung by the chimney with care. It's big, beefy boys all August. Get ready.
Big, meaty men slapping meat.
This is Big E's favorite month. It's my favorite month. I am Big E. That's my new name. I've stolen it. Sorry to the real Big E. Haas month, all month long, we are covering the biggest and baddest of the wrestlers, the big boys, the ones who you see on the street and you go, "Ooh, that's a wrestler," because he's a big bad lad.
He's either a wrestler, a defensive tackle, or an offensive lineman because there is no shot
The only
these
options.
people do anything else.
On this show, we look at a wrestler's career through 5 of their most important or sometimes 5 matches that just kind of span everything in their career so we get a good overview. And this week, we are starting with one of the most Haas of Haas wrestlers from the 80s and the 90s, King Kong Bundy.
Yes, one of the not many Haas's have main evented WrestleMania, but King Kong Bundy has.
This is true. What other Haas's would you consider that have main evented WrestleMania? Big Show's
Well,
been in
Big
the main
Show,
event.
yeah.
Diesel is a
No,
Haas wrestler?
he's not a Haas. He's
not
just
really.
tall.
He's just
Because is the
tall and
Undertaker a
athletic.
Haas?
No.
Exactly. They're like
He's not a
basically the same.
Haas. No, it's Brock. Brock's a Haas.
Brock's a Haas.
Brock's a Haas. Brock's a
Brock's a
gorilla
big
who
boy.
wished to become human.
Is that it? Is there only 3?
I'm sure Yokozuna. There it is.
Yokozuna. Yeah, there
Yeah.
it is.
I knew there was at least one more.
The Mount Rushmore of Haas main eventers.
King Kong Bundy, also known as Christopher Paley, that is his real name, was a very talented wrestler at the big man work. That was what he could do. What did you know about King Kong Bundy before we did this episode?
Oh, God. I know that he main evented WrestleMania 2.
Correct.
I know that he looked like the Thumb People from the first Spy Kids movie.
Correct.
And I know that he doesn't have much of a neck.
Not a lot of neck on this guy.
And that I always get him confused with George the Animal Steel.
That's fair. I get that, especially like going back. There's always going to be those kind of people who's like
Similar looks.
similar look, similar vibe. Obviously,
One has a lot of hair, one doesn't.
Has a lot of hair, while King Kong Bundy seems to be hairless in his singlet. I didn't know a lot about King Kong Bundy either. I knew the same kind of beats as you. I knew that he was just like a stalwart of the 80s, and he was in the WWF. I knew I weirdly knew that he was in ECW for a little. I remember he was on this list of like people you didn't know were in ECW.
Did you write that list?
I did not write that list. But he was in it when it was Eastern Championship Wrestling, I believe. So
okay,
not like the extreme version, not the
radical, that makes sense though.
Extreme. So King Kong Bundy trained to wrestle by Larry Sharp at the Monster Factory in Belmar, New Jersey, because he is from Jersey.
Larry Sharp's got some people under his tutelage.
He really does. This is another thing I didn't know about King Kong Bundy. Previous to being King Kong Bundy, he wrestled under another name, Chris Kanyon.
Yes, but normal spelling of Canyon.
Yes, which I thought was really interesting. He also went by Chris Cannon, so that sounds like somebody fucked up on the pronunciation.
It was like somewhere in the Midwest, and they were like, "Oh yeah, this kid Canyon. Let me tell you something about this kid. This kid right here.
What's
his main?"
Why is for some Midwest reason from the Bayou?
Because anytime I have to think of any other accent from Americana, I think of one. I go immediately to Jason Sudeikis' Judge from the SNL sketch for Main Justice.
Oh my God! Wow,
this right here is Main Justice.
I also need to say that, longtime listeners know you're from Boston. You're a Boston guy. Do you know how disappointed people are when I'm like, "Oh, I have a podcast with my friend from Boston," and then they listen. They're like, "He doesn't sound like he's from Boston at all." And I was like, "No, he has no shitty Ben Affleck accent."
I'm sorry that I'm fucking Dominican. Like, what do you want me to tell you?
That is the thing. They're always like, "He doesn't sound like he's from Boston." I'm like, "That's because he's Dominican."
Yeah, what do you want me to tell you about, kid? Like, I can't exactly like do anything. I'm sorry. You want me to go park my car? Is that what you want? You want me to park my car? Do you want me to go to Sathi?
You're the mouthy of the Southie. People need to know that. Chris Kanyon. So we're looking at King Kong Bundy in 1981 versus Mil Mascaras. And Bundy has just started wrestling here.
I think he's a year and some change maybe into his career.
His debut was March 7th, 1981. So he is months into his career. Yeah. Listed at, because it's always important during the Haas month to talk about the listed at, 6'4", 458 pounds.
Okay, so clearly the weight is exaggerated, but I believe the height.
I believe the height, 100%.
Yeah.
I believe they threw on
150 pounds.
I was going to say like 75 pounds.
Nah, this dude, there's no shot he's more than like 125.
I think at this point you're right, but by the end of this episode, I'm right.
By the end, yeah, absolutely. But no, right here, because he's big, but he's big in like an Indomitian Sue type big.
That's exactly it.
Big boy, but not like fat.
If Brock Lesnar saw him coming to the ring, he would do the big boy thing.
He's like a svelte chunk,
He's just dense. He's just dense. What did you think of this very old, very short match?
I mean, it's extremely short. There are two really short matches that we're going to cover here.
One of them is short as hell.
Just the nature of the 80s. But, I mean, it honestly, what's cool of this is seeing Mil Mascaras more than anything.
Yeah.
I thought that was because like this guy, I mean, by this point, Mil Mascaras has to be like pretty into his career. He's got to be towards the end of it more than anything. At least as far as his US run goes. But it was just cool to see him. I mean, the mask is fucking cool. The whole thing that he's got going for him. I like the colors. I love everything about that. And then, he locks, they lock up at the beginning. Mil gets a single leg takedown. Then he like ducks behind, gets a double leg takedown, puts on an arm wringer. This is very 80s for those who can't tell.
Mil Mascaras had debuted in 1963. So he's an 18-year vet going up against somebody who's been wrestling for a couple of months.
I mean, he honestly, like, this is a quick match. It lasts maybe 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's about 2 minutes, bell to bell.
And I don't know. I thought Mil pulled out. Listen, as far as 2-minute matches go, like, this isn't exactly going to end up being some like, balls to the wall type, just 100 pace. This is 1981. Like, these guys just went out there and had a textbook wrestling match.
What's the best short match in history?
Oh my God, I have no idea what it is, but my favorite like sub 10-minute match ever is still this random Raw match between Al Snow and who's the porn star guy?
Val Venus.
They had a random match on Raw. No stipulations, just straight wrestling. I don't remember. I think it was 1998. This was back when I was watching the Attitude Era, like back when they had that playlist on the network. And I wouldn't skip anything. I was like a psychopath. I would literally just throw it on and like I'd watch it. It'd be like
just watching the Attitude Era like a masochist. Like,
I'd watch like 4 or 5 episodes, like because I'd go from Raw and then eventually SmackDown comes in and I'd watch Raw and then SmackDown and then Raw.
You're watching it in season order, like, oh shit, when does Seth Rollins show up?
No, like legit. And like I remember just watching this match and I was like, this is really fucking good. It's like 6 minutes long. Excellent match. It might be on the internet somewhere.
There's a couple of those that we've also found from like Jamie Noble and like Jimmy
Wang
Yang on like
different though, because that's like, those are like guys who are like really, really good wrestlers that just like don't get the time. It's like cruiserweight wrestling, like I feel like that's like different. Like those guys are obviously going to put on great matches because they're really fucking great wrestlers. They just have to do everything so fast.
The best sub 5-minute match in history, if you're wondering, is Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg from WrestleMania 33. That match fucking slapped and it had no reason to.
How long was it?
4 minutes and 45 seconds.
Wow.
And they packed everything they possibly could into that match. It was awesome.
It's crazy because they also had the best sub 2-minute match.
These guys are good.
Survivor Series.
We also need to talk about the fact that at this point in his career, King Kong Bundy has hair. Lots of it.
I was telling my girlfriend, he looks like obviously a bigger version of Louis Capaldi.
Yeah.
He does. He looks like a bigger version of Louis Capaldi.
I love Louis Capaldi. So like, I
great
get that.
singer.
So in terms of actual wrestling, Mascaris with a headlock tries shoulder block, no good. Drop kick, he knocks down Bundy again. Bundy with a whip into the corner gets a big knee. It's like the only offense he gets because then Mascaris reverses a whip into the corner, goes up for a flying crossbody, gets it, gets the win. Bundy's down. It's a lot. It's not
I
a
need
lot.
somebody to feel, somebody to hold, somebody to have, somebody to know.
In 1982, so this was in WWF. In 1982, Bundy would relocate to Texas, where he joined World Class Championship Wrestling. It's there that he developed. He was developed by the Von Erich family as a babyface and given the name Big Daddy Bundy. That was his name. Was Big Daddy Bundy. He'd had a blue jeans and a rope
Wait,
belt.
is Married with Children out by this point?
No, Married with Children is King Kong Bundy is the reason they were called
The Bundys?
the Bundys. Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
So he's just named after Ted Bundy at this point.
Correct.
God.
Because Married with Children doesn't start until 1987. So
Oh my God, that's
where they got the
fucking
name.
crazy.
Yeah. So then he turned heel on the Von Erichs and decided to. He's recruited by Playboy Gary Hart and dramatically reintroduced as King Kong Bundy, getting rid of the Big Daddy portion of his name and going with King Kong, switching to the black singlet, and really just riding that for the rest of his career. He was so hated in Texas that he was the retirement match opponent for the patriarch of the Von Erichs, Fritz Von Erich, and we watched that match. It is at the Fritz Von Erich retirement show because when somebody big retires, they fucking name the show after them.
This is at the Cowboy Stadium.
It's at the Cowboy Stadium in Dallas, Texas for the NWA American Heavyweight Championship. It is the 4th of June, 1982. I don't know why.
By the way, packed.
But King Kong Bundy is listed from Nome, Alaska. Why?
I don't know anything about Alaska other than they have Alaskan king salmon and anything that you could learn from the ice road truckers.
Ice Road Truckers is a dangerous show.
Bro, I love that shit though. I love those kind of shows like that. Wicked Tuna. Love Wicked Tuna.
Wicked Tuna.
Like, I'm not even kidding. I genuinely love Wicked Tuna.
You mentioned that the stadium is packed. There's something interesting about the shows on football fields and baseball stadiums from back in the day. There was a specific vibe. I can't describe what it is that makes it so interesting, but it's very, very interesting.
I just want them to start doing this again. Like,
yeah, that would be a really good idea.
A show at a baseball stadium. Like, I know we get WrestleManias and stuff. Like, you know, obviously they did Allegiant Stadium not too long ago. Like, they did last year's SummerSlam. Wasn't that where the Titans play?
Yes, that is what the Titans play.
Like, you know, they do stuff like this all the time, obviously. But, like, I'm talking, like, more like, give me, like, why can't they have a show at Fenway Park? You know?
That would be very fun.
The Rogers Center gets some love.
So as you mentioned, this one is in Cowboys Stadium. Very fancy, very cool. What did you think of the actual match?
I thought it was an interesting match. I thought that it was interesting how short it was, to be honest, for the main event of such a big show.
I also thought it was interesting how Fritz takes no bumps. Like,
I mean,
it's King Kong Bundy getting his ass kicked for 12 minutes.
I think that it's exactly what it kind of needed to be for that crowd, though, to be fair.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like, and that's the thing about the crowds in the 80s, is if King Kong Bundy got in too much offense, they might burn the place to the ground.
Do you think this match is going to be in the movie?
No.
Or at least mentioned in the movie.
I wish it was.
Who? Oh my God! If King Kong Bundy is in the movie, who do you think is who do you think is the actor? Who would you pick as the actor to play King
Ethan
Kong
Suplee
Bundy?
from 2001.
I don't think that works.
I don't think it works like that anymore because he's just shredded.
Give me Louis Capaldi.
You and your Louis Capaldi.
He's fucking perfect.
Fritz and Bundy are talking a lot before the match starts. Bundy is out there by himself because Gary Hart has been banned from ringside. Also, it is no DQ and falls count anywhere.
It's like a Texas death match.
Fritz takes his shirt off and Bundy charges at him while he can't see. This is all the offense Bundy gets. Clubbing forearms, and then Fritz locks in the Iron Claw.
Yeah, like on his gut.
just
literally right in the ribcage. Just
slot. What are your thoughts on the claw?
I mean, it's stupid as fuck. Like,
It's stupid, but it's over, so therefore it cannot be stupid.
yeah, no, yeah, but it's dumb as shit. It's like the freaking stick, like Santino Morella's little cobra. You know, like at the end of the day, actually, the thing with the cobra is that's probably better than the fucking claw. But
Because it
like
has like a strike
the
component.
thing with the claw is like it's fine if like the great Khali's do. If Kawhi Leonard puts the claw on someone, they're fucked. But Fritz Von Erich just looks like an average white man from Texas.
Hey, hey, hey. Yeah.
Fat Albert's from New York. What is
So
this?
he does the claw early. Bundy has him down. Fritz locks in the claw to the stomach to get free. We get a raising knee in the corner by Fritz for a 2 count. Bundy stops the claw attempt in the corner, but then Fritz clocks him in the head and locks it in anyways.
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
Fritz runs Bundy into the turnbuckle, tosses him into the Cowboys' end zone out of the ring, tosses him through the ring and back on the other side of the ring. Bundy is just getting his ass whipped.
Yeah, there's a whole match. It's just him getting his fucking ass whipped. It's crazy.
For a man with no neck, his facial expressions are very good. King Kong Bundy has very excellent facial expressions, even here, because again, he's only been wrestling for 2 years now.
Yeah, and he has hair and he's the world champion. So like he's really winning out here.
He's on top of the world.
He's like you said, he gets thrown out of the ring. Fritz runs him into the post twice.
Yeah.
Then he puts the claw in his head in the corner, which Buddy is to literally
That is the
go.
best place to lock in the claw.
Yeah, it's in the corner. I mean, he finds a very creative way out of it, which is literally just slip out of the ring.
Yeah. I think if you're going to lock in the claw, it's got to be head first. I don't know, like kidneys. That would hurt. Second.
Rib cage. I feel like a rib cage would suck.
Balls. Just
Well, that's yes. In a no DQ situation, yeah, the testicles is definitely where you want to go with that one.
And Fritz knows that. He's a veteran. He understands. So we're on the outside. Fritz sits near the claw. We get an eye rake by Bundy. Bundy's like, all right, fuck this. Grabs a chair. And then is going to use it upside down. And I'm like, oh, that's a silly mistake. Fritz kicks him in the midsection, grabs a chair, and does use it upside down. He hits him with the little leg parts.
Twice, which I feel like kind of just hurts more, to be fair.
It has to hurt more. It has to hurt more. Like the other way,
gets him into the ring.
Dissipates a little bit. This one's just a metal little bar just on your body.
Yeah. Fritz gets him into the ring. He punches him a couple of times, then pins him. He doesn't get him into the ring. He just punches him a couple of times after hitting him with the chair, pins him right there on the end zone to win the match.
For Fritz Von Erich, born and bred, like a classic Texan guy, you know what I mean? To win his retirement match and the title on Cowboys end zone,
it'd be funny as fuck if he's an Oilers fan.
I'm actually a fan of the Minnesota Vikings.
Oh, yeah. Me and Fritz have something in common.
This was a fun match. We're going to take a break. When we get back, we have King Kong Bundy with no hair. Back from the break, after making a few appearances on New Japan Pro Wrestling with WWF joint shows in early '85, Bundy officially debuted. I tried my best. I know you tried to find it. He officially debuted on March 16, 1985, the champion of WWF Championship Wrestling, defeating Mario Mancini. He was first managed by Jimmy Hart and was immediately pushed with the dominating victories over all of his opponents, including the 5-count gimmick. What do you know about the 5-count gimmick?
Is that just like the Big E one where instead of a 3-count, it's a 5-count?
It is, but of course, with King Kong Bundy, it was a heel thing where he's like, oh, I've beaten them so bad, I'm going to get a 5-count.
He was a heel when he was doing that NXT.
I know, but he was too likable that people just started cheering for the 5-count. So they're like, fuck it, we got to make him babyface. Because Big E as a heel is a no. He's so likable. He might be the most likable person in WWE.
Oh my God, the funniest shit. Have you seen anything from the when they were on Family Feud?
The Beyonce clip?
Oh my God. Beyonce. What?
Steve Harvey's reaction when he first says Beyonce, what? Is excellent.
What?
So Bundy's got the 5-count gimmick. He's a dominating performer. He's just started in March of 1985. So we go to Wrestlemania. The first Wrestlemania. The first one ever. And
Which
he
I
has
always
a
forget. It's
match.
84. Is it, what year was this?
This is
I always forget when the
1985.
first. Okay.
He literally debuted 15 days earlier in the WWF and is having a match on the main card. It's the second match in WrestleMania history. Is King Kong Bundy versus Special Delivery Jones.
SD Jones, baby.
This match has a 20-minute time limit, according to Howard Finkel. It will not need it.
It won't even need one. Jimmy Hart looks ridiculous.
Jimmy Hart is always ridiculous.
But he really looks, he's hamming it up in this one. King Kong Bundy looks like a chode. Someone had to say it. Someone had to say it. I'm sorry. He looks like a chode. He just does.
Nobody had to say it. You just decided to say it.
Someone had to say it. SD Jones comes out. He's built as hell. This is the strongest looking mailman I've ever seen in my life.
Jesus Christ.
And then I'm just gonna run the match down for everybody out there. Because it's
Special Delivery Jones is listed 6'1", 260.
He's a thick boy though. He's got a massive back. And I'm not talking about his ass.
He's broad city.
So the match starts. SD Jones runs the ropes, tries to go into Bundy. I assume he went to go for a shoulder block or something. But Bundy just grabs him, puts on a bear hug, runs him into the corner while doing the bear hug, hits a corner splash. Then SD Jones falls to the ground. Bundy hits a quick running splash. 1, 2, 3. King Kong Bundy wins in 25 seconds.
If you really want to get over a big heel, you can hear the cheers that SD Jones gets. He was really popular at the time. If you really want to get somebody over as a big heel, this is a great way to do it. Just absolute squash, no offense, no shot. He's too powerful. It's going to build him up really well. This was listed as being 9 seconds in official WWF lore. That is incorrect. It was
25.
17 seconds long from bell to bell.
Sure.
Can you name? This is now the third shortest match in WrestleMania history. Can you name me the other two?
No. No, I cannot.
The
sorry. The Rock match against Eric Rowan.
The Rock vs. Eric Rowan, WrestleMania 32 is 6 seconds. Who broke the record in 2008?
2008.
So WrestleMania 24.
God, I was going to guess the Vince freaking Pat McAfee match. I don't even remember what Mania 2008 was. Who main evented that year?
24. Wasn't that Undertaker Edge?
Probably. I have no idea. You're going to have to tell me.
It was Undertaker Edge. It was Undertaker's brother, Kane, defeating Chavo Guerrero in what WWF calls 8 seconds, but is actually 11.
For the ECW title, when he just chokeslammed him?
For the ECW title.
I didn't even know that was at WrestleMania. I thought that was just on like a random show.
Kane won a battle royal before, like on the pre-show, to get a shot on the main card, and that's how he got onto the WrestleMania card to squash Chavo Guerrero.
Man.
So we talk about how this is a great way to build up a monster heel. Well, they built him up real well because by WrestleMania 2, he's in the main event against Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, the monster heel with the company, Hulk Hogan. It's a great babyface turn that King Kong Bundy made. I mean, he went from being the heel squashing SD Jones in 9 seconds to being the babyface upstart going up against Hulk Hogan. What was that, Evan? Oh, he's not the heel.
He's not the
heel. He's not.
Or he's not the face. He is the heel.
Hogan's the babyface.
Hogan is the babyface.
Fucking Vince.
September of 85. Bundy would trade in Jimmy Hart for Bobby Heenan because he's a man who wants to achieve.
But also, like, same. Like, I would have done that too.
Oh, sorry. No, I read this wrong. I thought it was that Bundy traded in Hart. Hart traded Bundy to Heenan for Adrian Adonis and the missing link. R.I.P. to Adrian Adonis. But yeah, that's one of those trades you look back on. You're like, wow, fleeced.
Oh, Jesus. One got to be the manager for the main event of WrestleMania. The other one,
it's missing link.
Shout out to Missing Link. I mean, the Adrian Adonis story is obviously a tragedy, and that
Adrian Adonis, yeah.
They had a Dark Side of the Ring episode that came out a few weeks ago. You guys should watch it. It's really good.
Interesting. Now, this match, it's WrestleMania 2, which was a terrible
match made me uncomfortable.
This match is a terrible clusterfuck. The whole show is awful. The 3 different locations, it was all bad. This is when Vince thought he was God, and he was like, I can do it in 3 locations, damn it.
Where is it? It's at the Rosemont Horizon in Chicago, LA, and then New York?
I believe New York, yeah.
Christ. Uh, the worst part about all of this is that Tommy Lasorda is the special guest announcer.
So we have a couple of different special guests with us for this match. Elvira is on commentary. Dodge manager Tommy Lasorda is the guest ring announcer.
What the
Ricky
fuck is
Schroeder from
Elvira?
Elvira, what did they call her? Like the mistress of the night or something? She was just like a mistress of the dark. She was a movie
What?
actress. Yeah, she's the woman on commentary.
I had no idea. I was like, is this Danica Patrick? It sounds like Danica Patrick and when she randomly shows up in Formula One.
No, she was a horror hostess, and she was a radio DJ, and she was an actress. Yeah.
All right, sure. Tommy
Probably don't know
Lasorda's
who
here.
Elvira is.
Why would I? He's the manager of the LA Dodgers. I know Tommy Lasorda. That helps.
Ricky Schroeder from Silver Spoons is the guest timekeeper. No one knows who he is.
Okay.
Robert Conrad is the special guest referee. No one knows who he is.
They got booed, by the way. Ricky Schroeder and Robert Conrad got booed.
They did. Lasorda didn't get booed because we're in LA. Bundy getting booed to all heaven. He is very unpopular.
Yeah. And then Hogan comes out. There's a massive pop. Hogan looks coked up to the gills. Let me tell you something. That brother did not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7. He did more lines than I can count.
Hulk Hogan, I think, gets like a special power from the crowd that even like any other wrestler doesn't get. Like if Hulk Hogan is popular, he just feeds off it. Because I'm not going to say that he's on cocaine.
He's on cocaine. He's 100%.
So it's unfortunate.
Taped ribs.
It's unfortunate that Bundy's like best match is against Hulk Hogan because you and I don't like Hulk Hogan. We don't want to talk about him. We don't want to watch him. But
when we say best, we mean most prominent.
It is his most prominent match. Early on, Hogan with a big chop, whipping Bundy in the corner. Bundy's on wobbly legs from right hands. He does send Hogan into the cage. Bundy immediately making a beeline for the cage. This is for the WWF Championship, obviously, because Hogan, of course, had a fucking vice grip on that belt. I like Bundy. He's like, he's down. I'm going to try to go to the cage. Here's my question, and I know that it obviously he can. Doesn't it look like Bundy cannot fit through the door every time he goes to the door? It looks like he's not able to actually make it through the door every time.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a very wide hole for my guy to get through.
Which is funny because they talk about how it's like, oh, it's a special reinforced blue steel cage that we had to get for King Kong Bundy. I'm like, could you make the fucking door bigger then?
Yeah, all right, Jesse. And then at one point here, so the Hulkster gets body slammed, and I was like, oh, he's starting to get worked over here. Hulkster don't like it when my man tries to leave. He starts grabbing at the leg. Bundy picks up Hogan, rams him into the cage, like press style. Like,
yeah,
boop, and then he does that. He tries to leave again, doesn't work. He then removes the tape that's around Hulk Hogan's ribs and starts choking my guy with it.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. Hogan gets free, stops Bundy from leaving through the cage. Hogan runs Bundy face first in the cage. Bundy is bleeding. The blade very clearly handed to him by Heenan at ringside. You can see it happening.
Come on.
You see everything except the actual blade.
Hogan punches the fuck out of it.
He sure does. Bundy runs in the cage repeatedly. Hogan goes for a scoop slam, but Bundy is too big, too strong. He crossbody presses him. Bundy cannot make it to the ropes, though. And then Hogan returns serve. He also chokes Bundy with the bandages.
Yeah. Bundy hits a corner splash. He hits a running splash. And he doesn't get to leave because Hulk Hogan hulks up. So he's like he gets up immediately to stop Bundy from leaving, even though he's taken his finishing moves.
Here's the thing I don't understand. So
Bundy hits a corner splash.
Hogan does the Hulk up, right? And he sells the move. Like, he sells the running splash and like also sells it while pulling Bundy back in the ring. And then Bundy's like, okay, I got to hit him with something else. Puts him in the corner. He does that running splash like he said. And then he hulks up. How does the Hulk up work? What is the power?
I don't understand.
Like,
I don't know.
Can it be
Is there a meter? Does he have to take a certain amount of damage before he's able to do it?
Was he taunting when the camera was not on him? What is going on right now? Because he does the fucking Hulk up. Because of course he does. He whips Bundy in the corner, scoop slams him, he bounces out of the corner, hits a big scoop slam, leg drop. Bundy catches up with Hogan, which is good, but Hogan is just too strong right now.
He's jacked up, brother.
Okay, the fact you did that impression, I had no place for this story, but I need to say it anyways. I went to Subway today because I forgot my lunch, and a guy in line just started doing a Macho Man impression.
Oh yeah.
He recognized somebody else who had just come in, and he sees him, and they're talking, and he goes, just like Randy Savage, brother. Oh, the cream always rises. And I was like,
Yeah.
what the fuck is going on? It is noon. I am tired. The Subway is full, and you're
Why
just
is
busting out
Subway full?
I don't know, man. Everybody forgot their lunch today. Everybody needed
Subway is the last resort, by the way. Subway is literally, that is what the whole reason for a Subway is. It's the last resort.
It was because it was literally farther for me to walk. So I walked past the pizza place I would normally go to get food, and they had no new slices. And I was like, fuck. So Subway it was. Hey, Subway, sponsor us. I'll eat your bread.
I won't. But I'll hawk it. I will hawk your bread, but I won't eat it.
Can't be bought. Hogan kicks Bundy off, kicks away Heenan, climbs up over the top, wins the match, retains the title.
Chases after Heenan.
Yeah, Heenan ends up in the ring. Hogan gets his hands on him. What a bad WrestleMania. Imagine, God. Like, here's the thing. It's also this is in 1986 or whatever. How are you watching the other, like, it's got to be on, like, tiny TVs, right? They didn't have Jumbotrons.
I think they did, like, at movie theaters, they would, like...
No, but here's the thing. If you're fucking at the LA Coliseum, how are you seeing the other matches that are happening in Chicago and whatever?
That's what you meant. You're just not.
Awful. I assume it's on TVs. If somebody has seen,
can you imagine you like went to Chicago and you're like, oh, I can't wait to see Hulk Hogan, and then you just don't get to see Hulk Hogan.
Do you remember that? I think it was with Raw 25 where they also ran the Manhattan Center alongside like Barclays, and they were like, you get to watch what's going on the screen. And it's like, yeah, that sucks. Like, give us other matches.
Yeah, thanks. Please.
This is awful. Hogan wins. LOL. We're gonna take a break. When we get back, we got a couple more King Kong Bundy matches. Back from the break, after leaving WWF in 1988, Bundy went into semi-retirement. He just kind of only wrestled a handful of times. In 1993, he wrestled, like I mentioned, in the main event of Eastern Championship Wrestling's inaugural November to Remember Supercard in a very weird tag team match. Let me explain it to you right now.
I tried to find it.
The mystery tag team partner of Terry Funk in a losing effort to Road Warrior Hawk and not Road Warrior Sabu.
Yeah, it's because I think that was a retirement match for Funk.
Yes. Also,
one of 1,000.
Speaking of Sabu and Eastern Championship Wrestling, RVD's in AEW.
Yeah. And, well, okay, it makes a lot of sense for this specific storyline with Jack Perry because he's got a whole thing with Jerry Lynn, and Jerry Lynn does not wrestle anymore.
That's true.
It makes sense to bring in RVD. Plus, it's a big name for All In.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I know people who are like kind of pissed for a couple of reasons when they're like, oh, it's just like you're profiting on old WWE guys. It's like, no, this is an old ECW guy. Like, this is an old WWE
This is
guy
an ECW thing because he literally has the FTW title.
Yeah. And who else is going to go up against Jack Perry?
Like you're not bringing in Taz.
No, give him somebody who can kind of give the rub, like who can put him over in a good match. RVD can still do things. I'm sure he'll still hit Rolling Thunder. And
but also, like, you have to like bring in someone that's gonna be that's a name that's gonna draw stuff. Yeah. You know, like the rematch versus Hook. Obviously, it makes a lot of sense, but you also don't want to beat Jack Perry. He just turned heel.
Also, I know I shouldn't like be proud or like happy that these things happen because it's just they have so much money. But like shelling out the money to get Walk by Pantera. Yeah, I fucking popped. I used to. My brother had like Pantera CDs, and I would get him to put on Walk, and I would walk into the room, and I would do the Rob Van Dam thing, and I was like, "This fucking rocks." So like between that and like Final Countdown, Tony Khan, I love your money. Keep it up, man.
I love your dad's money.
I love your dad's money. Bundy would return to the WWF in 1994 as a member of the $1 Million Corporation, because that's where you put heels when you don't know what to do with them. You just
It's
put them in
true.
the $1 Million Corporation. You go, all right, that's nice. He had a very successful return at the Survivor Series pay-per-view. He and fellow $1 Million team member Bam Bam Bigelow, another Haas Month alumni, survived a match against Lex Luger's Guts and Glory team, because Lex Luger should lose at Survivor Series all of the time, except for when he thinks, yeah, it's bad times. We have a match that Javier found. Holy shit.
I like to call this the Blair Witch Project.
Oh, I'm glad
match.
you said that, because I called it the Brian B. Blair Witch Project. This is officially the worst quality of match we've ever seen in terms of video quality. It is on a handheld camcorder, and I'm not certain that it's not the Game Boy camera. It is a house show match from Cologne, Germany, the November Fest Tour, 1994. It's November 13th, if you're keeping track at home. It is King Kong Bundy versus Bret Hart for the WWF Championship.
Yeah, the best thing about this that I love is it's not even like the first show, and it's not the last. It's like they ran 4 shows. I think it's like the second or third night.
It's the middle of the grind. It's a show that was never meant to see the light of day. It's honestly fascinating.
Yeah. I don't know. I looked it up and I found it.
It is such a weird thing to see that my brain like hurts. Like,
I was on the
don't know.
what is Cage Match? Is it Cage
Yeah.
Match where you find all the people's matches? Like I was just finding his matches because none of these had ratings or anything. So it's like I was just like looking through. I was like, oh, a Brett match. Oh, it's in Germany. Nah, fuck it. Let's see what happens if I look it up. And then I found it.
Yeah, this is where I wrote the Brian B. Blair Witch Project. Like, this is, I don't know what's going on here.
Brett is insanely over in Germany.
They are losing it. They're chanting at him in English, which I think is always a good sign. If you're over enough that they know the chants in English, that's good. So yeah, they're all saying, let's go, Brett. And everything is pink. The lights are pink when Brett comes out. There are people in pink. It's a lot. It's like the Barbie movie.
The German people are speaking in English, just like, yeah, Brett. We love you, Brett.
Bundy making the title motion, you know, the like discount double check, if you will.
Do you think the title fits around his waist? I think he's the only big man where it does. The only Haas, I should say. I think he's the only Haas where it does.
I think it does. But
there's not many. It's like early Big Show and him.
But like if he has like a little bit too much at sushi, like it's just gonna like fly off.
If there aren't any fresh slices of pizza and he has to go to Subway, done.
God, it was such a disappointing part of my day today. Brett with some right hands, but a back elbow by Bundy knocks him down. He tosses Brett in the corner. Some right hands, some knees. We get a big choke. Brett crossbodies Bundy when he goes for a scoop slam. Just kind of uses his weight to get him down. We get a big clothesline by Bundy and a knee drop. This is probably the best we've seen Bundy's offense. And it's hard because we're seeing it on the worst camera ever, the first camera ever made. You could tell me this is the first fucking film ever made, and I would believe you.
Nah, the first color film.
Yeah.
It's in color. Barely. It's heavily saturated color, but it's color.
That's the other thing I was going to say. Like, it feels like there's like 4 Instagram filters on this.
It's so saturated. It's bad. Bundy does a leaping splash for a near fall, hits a body slam, but misses the knee drop that comes right after that. Brett knocks down Bundy after many clothesline attempts, then hits a middle rope elbow drop. You know, the one he does. Where it's like,
yeah. God, Brett's so just like precise. That's his whole, it's going to be precise.
Brett hits a slingshot splash into a bunch of punches. And then we get to the finish here.
Yeah, the finish is so. Yeah, we had the middle rope elbow drop by Brett. We had the bulldog by Brett off the top rope. Bundy gets to the top turnbuckle, or gets the top turnbuckle off while Brett's on the outside. So he removes it and exposes the turnbuckle. Brett trips Bundy when he's there, and he slingshots onto him from the apron. Yep. Bundy with the advantage then, a right again. Brett avoids being run to the turnbuckle, like the exposed one, and then just runs Bundy into it instead, and then pins him, and that's it.
Yeah.
It's a very house show finish.
Again, this is like the second or third night of a 4-night loop. So
yes. So like, you know what? Let's just go with the exposed turnbuckle finish. Let's just do that.
Yeah. Give these
Send the
people
people of
something new,
Cologne,
brother.
Germany, home happy.
To go get schnitzel.
I fucking love schnitzel. Speaking of,
I've never had schnitzel.
oh my god, you gotta have schnitzel. It's pork, but breaded and fried. It's fantastic.
Hey man, you
The
ever had
Germans,
a chicharron?
no.
Oh, that was now you're
Don't-
missing out.
I mean, we're all missing out. We got to
It's
culturally
fried pork.
diverse. I love fried pork. I'm on board. I also want to try that whole roast pig over the open fire that you see in Hawaii. That sounds fantastic.
Okay, it's not
but
just in Hawaii. Go anywhere along the Mediterranean, you'll probably find one.
that sounds good to me. I just want to go where people are roasting pork over fires. That's where I want to be.
Not Canada. I don't think that's happening in
Not Canada.
Canada.
We don't have that. That hasn't been invented here yet.
You guys roast bears and stuff like that.
Yeah, we're like, bear, you look fucking stupid. So we roast the bear. All right, let's talk about a promo from King Kong Bundy, because there's a promo that he cuts before the Royal Rumble in 1995. And in this promo, he talks about how there's nothing more powerful than an idea whose time has come. Well, I'm changing that today. There's nothing more powerful than a man whose time has come. And that man is me, King Kong Bundy.
Yeah, what a delivery. He says 29 men are going to be thrown over the top rope, the majority by him.
I like that he's not guaranteeing 29 eliminations, just 15.
Yeah, at least.
He's like, I'll set the bar at 15. If I can get a bit more than that, fantastic. That's the floor.
But if not, he says he's guaranteed a shot at Mania, and he doesn't care if it's Diesel or Brett. He's beating them both and walking out as champion.
No.
He says the gold. Says the gold. What is this? 95. What was the main event in 95? Was it Diesel against? No, the title match was Diesel against Shawn, I think.
That's the main event of 95, isn't it?
Is it the main event?
Or is that WrestleMania 10? Because if it's WrestleMania 10, then that's Bam Bam versus Lawrence Taylor.
Yeah, it is. It's Bam Bam versus Lawrence Taylor.
What a weird time.
Says the gold is coming to the DiBiase Corporation.
Oh no, hold on here. No, I got my years wrong. So
this is 95.
Yeah, WrestleMania 11 is what this is. So not 10,
Yeah.
because 10's Bret Hart and Yokozuna.
Yeah.
Yeah, but 11, you're right. This isn't the main event, because the main event is a football player and Bam Bam Bigelow.
It's true. It's damn true.
Glad you said it, because I was going to too.
Want to get an idea for what's happening or what's happening to those boys at the Royal Rumble? Then look at that. What the fuck did I write down here? He said something. Just look at that sap that I just got done with. Oh, he wrestled someone, I guess.
Yeah, he clearly wrestled somebody and then cut that promo. The weird thing about this, he finishes with saying he's getting gold around his waist and gold in the bank. I like a man who's about stack your paper, also invest in gold. Doesn't really depreciate.
Slim Jim, sponsor us.
I once listened to a business major. This is filmed like they filmed commercials for kids' toys, and I'm going to be very specific what I mean by that. It's just King Kong Bundy from like the chest up, but he moves and the camera moves and zooms in and out a little bit with him.
Oh
and
yeah,
I feel like that's always how they like the credits for kids shows. Like that's how the kids would be framed.
Do you want space boots? Space boots.
Yeah, and would always be coming in and out, and you're like, I fucking do want space boots. Was there ever a toy that you like desperately wanted?
Oh my god, there was a specific one an icy maker, like the slushy icy makers.
Yeah.
I wanted one of those so bad for Christmas one year. My dad didn't get it to me. I was pissed. And I wanted this specific same year actually. I also asked for the specific Teen Titans like action figure set that had the freaking I forget why am I blanking on his name. He's not Aquaman, but he was also like the sea, like basically Aquaman, like he talked to animals and that stuff. And it was him. It was like him. It's obviously not an Aquaman offshoot because it's all under the DC umbrella.
Yeah.
It's like that. He was like the head of it, and then it had all the Teen Titans, but not in their like typical colors. They were all like kind of like see-through and like a specific color like that represents them. So Raven was purple, Beast Boy was green, Robin was red, all this other stuff, et cetera, et cetera. And I wanted it so bad because it came with this big ship. It was the guy's ship. And I wanted it, and my dad got me a whole completely other thing, and I was like, Like, I'll take it, but fuck.
Damn. The one that I remember wasn't like Christmas or anything, but I saw a commercial
And the spinner belt, WWE Championship spinner
I
belt.
saw a commercial for the like Raw Titantron set. Like, but it wasn't like the new like the like post brand split one.
Yeah,
It was like the just metal one. But the best thing was it came preloaded with 12 entrance themes. You press a button, you'd click the right one, and you had like
what year would this have been?
2000.
Okay, so you're probably getting like The Rock.
It was the Rock, DX, Stone Cold, Undertaker.
The Undertaker's one's lasting 15 minutes.
It was literally like a 20-second clip. It was like a hit clip worth. And I wanted it because I had a ring and I had all these wrestlers, and I was like, I could have like my own shows. I could do a whole show. The only thing I'm missing is an entrance, not knowing that in like a month I was going to discover ECW, which was a fucking curtain. And I'd be like, there we go. And then I'd have my historic, this is a throwback to an old episode. I know I've talked about this, my historic death match between Goldust and Al Snow, where Al Snow got his nose ripped off. So there's a throwback to an older episode.
Jesus Christ.
If we ever interview Al Snow, I'm telling him that story.
Leaf?
Yes, Leaf. But I badly wanted that. And I remember my grandfather just like wanted to go hang out. Like he just had us for the day. And I guess I had offhand mentioned that I was like, oh, like I really want this thing I saw on TV. And he was like, okay. And so we just went to Toys R Us and he found it. He's like, all right. And he just bought it and brought it home. I was like,
how much do you think that thing was?
In 2000 money? Like $25. So now
Dang.
like, yeah, like expensive.
Like $50.
Yeah, I know. It's
Shit.
great. I used it so much. So it's a solid investment.
I always make my investments based off of like, if I'm buying a pair of shoes, let's say the shoes are $150. Am I going to wear this pair of shoes 150 times? If yes, I buy them. If no,
I definitely use that entrance ring more than 25 times, more than 50 times. It's what I would do.
More than that in a day.
That's true. So King Kong Bundy cut that promo with the Royal Rumble. He did not win the Royal Rumble. In fact, he was eliminated at the Royal Rumble by your favorite and mine, King Mabel. That's where we go for our last match, because we have 6 matches this week because 2 of them were under a minute long, it felt like. Yeah. So we're doing this. On the first day of Haas month, Javier hath gifted me a big-ass Haas fight. It is King Kong Bundy versus King Mabel, Raw, January 23rd, 1995. Mabel is popular here. Do not let historians, people rewrite history. He is over. The people are chanting. The people are cheering. King Mabel was the shit.
He's coming out. He's doing his little dancey dance.
He's got Mo with him. Sir Mo.
Yes, sir.
He's living.
Shawn Michaels is on commentary for some reason.
Well, because they wanted Shawn to be on the show, but he also needed to rest after winning the Rumble the night before.
It's fair.
So, imagine that's what they did still. Like you win the Rumble and you just join commentary for the next day. They're like, oh yeah, Cody won the Rumble and he's here with us on commentary for the next 3 hours.
I still have to watch his documentary.
DiBiase is out here with Bundy. DiBiase and his crew had recently repossessed the urn from The Undertaker that would eventually lead to, I believe, that match with Kama Mustafa that we've covered before.
Oh my God.
Yeah. The rules for this match are weirdly not just regular match rules. It's the same rules as the Rumble, where you have to toss your opponent over the top rope with both feet touching the ground.
Get out of here, you fat ass.
It's because Bundy's still pissed they got eliminated by Mabel. What did you think of the match?
Loved it. This might be the match I most recommend to people.
What is the match you recommend this week? That's a good question too.
I don't know.
I think it's the Brett match.
I think it's the Brett match just for the comedy of it. Just the fact that it's a saturated video that was recorded on a fucking...
This is the weird thing about that. I want to touch on it. I couldn't think of exactly what it is about it before. That match was not meant to be seen by anyone other than the people in that arena that night. It literally was supposed to be lost to history. People weren't recording everything. There wasn't phones weren't everywhere. Now everything is recorded all the time. Nobody, we see everything that happens on house shows. We see all the funny interactions that people do. Literally, that was just supposed to be lost to history, and somebody has recorded it and saved it, and it feels like illegal to see because it is illegal. But I mean, you know what I mean?
Just up on YouTube.
We shouldn't be seeing it. It just feels like it should have been lost to history, but yet here it is. That's the
Yeah.
wild thing. You should go watch it because honestly, it's also
Wow,
Brett,
thing.
and Brett's cool, so you should go watch that match.
You make my heart sing.
So yeah, go watch that match. I think you'll enjoy it this week.
Yeah, I had a great time with that, to be honest.
This match is fine. It's
Yeah, I
not
mean, we
nothing-
could run through it really quickly. They lock
Yep.
up. Mabel tries to dump Bundy out of the ring immediately. Bundy tries the same. They're just trying to eliminate each other. Bundy hits a corner splash. Mabel hits a headbutt and an enziguri.
Very confusing. Who would you rather sit next to on an intercontinental flight, Mabel or Bundy?
Bundy, he's more svelte.
Correct. Good answer. Continue.
But I feel like I'd have a lot more to talk to about than.
Well, King Kong Bundy's a really cool guy. Did you know that he actually did he acted a couple times but he also did stand up for a while?
Yeah, but I just like Mabel. You know,
Well, I mean, we love Mabel on this podcast, so
just like the guy. Mabel misses a running elbow drop. Bundy's cool. Stand up is cool. We went to a stand up show.
yeah, we did.
It's good stand up.
Yeah, we went to a stand-up show for my bachelor party. It was awesome.
You broke as we were leaving. You like critiqued them.
Yeah, a little post-match breakdown. It was awesome.
Because for those who don't know, Evan used to do stand up comedy.
I sure did. I had about 20 minutes worth of good stuff that I would use.
Oh,
That's pretty good. Yeah.
If you guys send us enough money, Evan will do a 20-minute set for you.
Oh my God, I'll gladly do a 20-minute set.
Evan will do it for free, but send me money.
So the finish of the match here, we get some nice strikes by Bundy, an avalanche splash in the corner, and then out come the rest of the $1 Million Corporation. IRS and Tatanka are in the ring, and they help Bundy push Mabel over the top rope to get his win back, I guess.
Sure.
Mabel gets eliminated. Here comes Lex Luger, Mo, and Ludwig Borga to make the
Ludwig fucking Borga.
Yeah. That I had to pause the video. I was like, who the fuck is that?
Ludwig
Borga. Truly the lost name of Imperium.
When we do the Ludwig Borga episode, it's going to break the internet. It also might be our last episode because we truly would have run the well dry.
We're like, fuck it. We got nobody left. It was a weird time. So what'd you think going back and listening and looking at the career of King Kong Bundy?
I mean, it's good for him. You know, the guy main evented a WrestleMania against Hulk Hogan when he was at pretty much his peak of powers. During that 4-year stretch where he was WWF champion, the guy got to retire Fritz Von Erich, quote unquote.
Cool things.
He was freaking World Class Championship Wrestling. Is that the one?
Yep, he was the World Class Heavyweight Champion twice. He was the Tag Champion twice.
He had from what I saw, he had this legendary rivalry with Kevin Von Erich over there.
Yes,
as
that
well.
was apparently the Von Erich who kind of took up the arms against him most.
Yeah, I couldn't find anything of it. I found a highlights thing that was 2 minutes long, but obviously we don't do those.
That's longer than half the matches we covered this week.
But we don't do those. He had a feud against I think he won the title off of Kerry Von Erich too at one point there. So Jeremy Allen White, he won the title off of Jeremy Allen White.
Yeah. I thought it was really
good career though.
Interesting to see. I was really happy to see it. King Kong Bundy seems like a lovely guy. It says on his Wikipedia that he was a big fan of cats, and when he passed away in 2019, he had at least 10. So he was a big fan of cats.
It's a good thing we've had my cat here though, pretty much the whole time.
It's on brand. So that's the first episode of Haas Month this month. Next week, we look at an underrated Haas and a Haas who is currently shaping the future of wrestling. That's truly what his position entails. We're looking at Matt Bloom, a.k.a. Albert, a.k.a. A-Train, a.k.a. Lord Tensai.
A.k.a. whatever he was called over in Japan. I forget.
Giant Bernard.
Giant
Bernard. We're
not his first appearance on the podcast.
No.
He's had multiple appearances, actually.
Yeah, he's had
not just in the test episode. Showed up in a Hiroshi Tanahashi episode.
Yes, has shown up in a tag episode as part of TNA. Showed up in test episode.
Yes.
Yeah. Showed up a couple times. Next week's going to be Albert Tensai, whatever you want to call him. Just don't call him late for dinner. Haas Month will continue. You should follow us on social media at Crossbody Work on Twitter, on Instagram, on Threads, on Twitch, all of those places. However, people find you on social media.
I'm on the Twitter or X machine, I guess now, whatever the fuck we call it.
X Machine.
At J Mello Sports, lob the boy a follow. It's also in the bio of the main account.
Follow me at It's Evan Gomes, ITSEVANGOMES. I'm on Twitter, and no, I'm not calling it that. FullPressShop.com. Cop the merch, support the boys. Tell us what you want to see in the merch store. FullPressWrestling.com to see all the links this week. Of course, our recommendation is the weird handycam Bret Hart. You got to see it. It's 4-leaf Cloverfield Lane. Like, that's what this fucking is. You got to watch it. It's very, very confusing to see.
Just Fred Flintstone holding someone hostage in the bunker?
Yes, that was really, really dark. It's a really, really good movie. Thank you for joining us. It's time for everyone's most favorite part of the podcast. Javier, any final words for the people?
This week on Life Advice with Javier, it involves food. How could it not? It's Hoss month.
Is your suggestion just not go to Subway?
No, yes, that is my suggestion. Do not go to Subway. No, it's more of a sensible one for people, actually. So I guess if you're a vegetarian, you could kind of just turn off now because this has no impact on you whatsoever. But it involves meat. More so, like, all right, let's say you're someone like me who likes to meal prep and stuff. You usually buy like a big packet of like chicken breast or chicken tenders or chicken thighs, whatever you want to go with, whatever the deal is. Let's say you also want to get some ground beef or whatever, all this other stuff. You tend to just go to the freezer aisle or whatever the meat section is, and you'll just pick a packet and you'll go and you'll do your thing. You know what makes a lot more sense and is definitely not only what is more cost effective for you, but also is way healthier. Just go to a butcher.
Butchers are awesome. Butchers are
great. So you can go to any butcher shop, or honestly, if you don't feel comfortable with the butcher shops in your area, just go to like the Whole Foods butcher.
There's an Italian grocer that just opened in town here, and they're awesome for getting good cuts of meat. Like, like it's expensive usually, but if you're buying like a large amount, it's really not that much.
Yeah.
Like it kind of evens out, and the quality is really, really good.
Like, I just got this like shaved steak, like a big thing of like shaved steak that you pretty much like the stuff you find at like a Korean barbecue spot.
That makes sense.
I have just been I put them in separate Ziploc bags, not individually. Like, I took a group, put it in Ziplocs, took another group, some Ziploc bags. No, there's like fucking 50 of them. There's no shot that was gonna work for me. But no, it's been great, and it's like super healthy, and like some of the best ground beef I've ever had in my life was literally the Whole Foods like butcher area or deli or whatever, that area. Like, it's in my opinion, it's more sensible especially if you're buying like chicken thigh, like tenders or like breasts or whatever. It's more bang for your buck if you just go and be like, hey, can I get like 2.5-3 pounds of chicken, like breasts, and I'm just like, because it's better. Just trust the boy. If you don't believe me, just go do it once. If it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you. But I just think it's more sensible. It's also more cost effective, and it's just flat out healthier because there's less preservative. Obviously, there's like no preservatives used pretty much. If you just do that,
it's a great decision. It's good advice. We're back next week with more Haas Month, more big boys. It's Albert time. We'll talk to you next week.